And a jolly good morning to you from a bright and breezy, showery Luton in Bedfordshire. And this short little video today is going to be just a little wander around the centre of this famous town. Now, what can you say about Luton? Well, let's start off with it. Well, it's got an airport that everybody knows about. It's now got a Premier League football team. And on the whole, I think the people of Luton are very proud of their town, despite the fact it gets a pretty bad rap most of the time. And on occasions, I think quite rightly, you could say it's not all that pretty on occasions, but it's certainly not all bad. And I'm just going to do a short walk today around the centre of the town. And then if you look hence from this video, in a week or so, there'll be another video with a bit more of a wider ranging walk around the outer areas of Luton, some of the maybe the prettier parts of the town. And there are some, so look out for that video, but this one's just going to concentrate on the centre. I'm going to call it, to start off with, the good, the bad and the extremely ugly. And we can probably thank the 1960s and 70s town planners for that, rather than anybody else. But let's go and have a look. Let's see what Luton looks like today. It's a Saturday morning, and usually there's quite a lot of people wandering around, going to the shops and just going about their business in a slightly more relaxed way than you would normally see during the week. So the main Luton railway station, which I understand is going to be completely renovated over the next few years to look something a little bit more impressive. What else have we got here at Luton? 3 railway stations really. You've got Luton Central there, you've got Luton Airport Parkway, which serves the airport, of course, by means of a connection on the link on buses, or if you were feeling really energetic you could walk, but it is quite a way. And then if you consider Leagrave to be part of Luton, which I do, then you have that 3rd station as well. You have a guided bus route which operates to Dunstable along what used to be a railway line that obviously went to Dunstable. And you have the near legendary, what people still refer to as the Luton Arndale Centre, which of course is now called the Mole. I'm not going to be going in there for a number of reasons. A mole is a mole is a mole, and apart from 1 or 2 exceptions, such as the market, it is pretty standard and nothing really to write home about as such. So one of the latest things to be brought here to the centre of Luton was this rather tatty area here. Or it was a tatty area, and it's been redeveloped, put with some seats put out, and an area where you can go and maybe sit by the River Lea here as it winds its way through the town. Now the River Lea starts up at its source up in Leagrave, winds its way through Luton and then off out into Hertfordshire, and eventually finishes up in the River Thames. Now I'm currently creating some videos of a complete walk of the River Lea, and I'm as far as the middle of Hertfordshire at the moment with that, and I'll release the videos once complete in the next couple of months. So I think this video will probably appear before those, so if you're interested in a walk along the River Lea, then subscribe and press the yellow bell for notifications, and it should let you know when those videos come out. This area here used to be extremely full of litter and just generally unloved. Unfortunately, there does appear to be a little bit of littering still here, but that's fairly standard for most town centres, unfortunately. Luton isn't particularly unique in that. However, we might go past some places where it seems worse than you would normally find. Now, just going back to the River Lea, It does spend most of its time underground in the centre of Luton, and there is just this little area here where it isn't underground. But if you try to follow it, as I have done as part of my video production for the River Lea walk, I was not walking next to the river for much of it through the centre of town until you get out past Luton Airport Parkway, when it re-emerges and you can walk along it a bit more closely. So, all that said, there's one of the... There used to be a big bus station here in Luton, somewhere kind of over there near the railway station, which is currently a car park, kind of an open air gravelly type car park. The Luton bus station, if any of those of you that remember it, was again not really a pretty place, but it served a purpose, I guess, and was knocked down quite a few years ago now, and now the buses tend to just circle around the centre of town, picking up in different spots along George Street and just here, all around. And with the facility of Google Maps, it's quite easy to find out where your bus will go from. Whereas, of course, when there was just a bus station, you went to the bus station. I always think this is a really kind of tatty, unloved area that could really have a lot done with it, actually, to be fair, and made to look quite nice. Just appears to be an area of rotting old seats, bit of littering and junk, and that's how things will stay, to be fair, because, you know, if whoever's responsible for this, which I'm assuming is the council, if they're not going to bother with it, then I don't suppose anyone else is going to either, which is a shame. John Street. Once we get to the end here, there's a kind of a main road called Church Street that runs parallel to a place called Power Court, and if any of you out there are interested in football or football fans, and certainly Luton Town fans that may be watching will know, this is where eventually, when it's built, Luton Town's new football ground is going to be. It's currently a pile of rubble and a car park at the moment, so eventually there will be a football stadium there, right next to the railway line and within just a few minutes walk of the railway station. There's not short of car parks in Luton. There's a massive one at the railway station itself, and we've walked past two already that are next to or above or adjoining the shopping centre, the mall. But yes, in years to come there will eventually be a football ground, major redevelopment around this area with restaurants, cafes and bars. And in fact, if you just walk up that way and turn left, you'll come to the railway station. Hopefully this area will become a lot more interesting. It certainly isn't at the moment. So we're just arriving at Church Street now, and then have a little look at Power Court. Then, as you can see, it's just essentially a series of car parks, 80p per hour. There you go. And the road here, the A505, forms part of the loop of roads around the centre of the town. There is the church, which, when you go in and have a little look around, is rather pleasant if you like looking around such places. Another place where a lot of buses pick up right here, and we're just coming up towards the University of Bedfordshire. Now, who remembers this being a nightclub just here many years ago? I cannot remember the name of it. That was a well-known nightclub, completely closed down now by the looks of it, and doesn't look like it's going to be open again anytime soon. I think there's a bar upstairs as well. I think if you enter the Arndale, sorry, the Mall here, let me just look. Yes, that's right, you just go up the escalators there, so to the right you'll go towards the market, and certainly at least used to be a bar just inside the market. Whether that's actually still there or not, I couldn't tell you without going in. Many years ago I did go in that bar, and considering it's in a busy shopping centre and next to a market that was always pretty busy with lots of market traders there, I always used to find it was not many people in it at all, which is probably why I think it closed down. Whether it's reopened or not since, I don't know. One thing I always find a bit strange about the outside of or around the centre of Luton, it's almost as though they bombed the centre of Luton and then decided to build the carbuncle that is the Arndale Centre right in the middle, and you get these sort of areas like this that don't seem to sort of serve any purpose whatsoever. They're not even particularly nice to look at. They're just they're just there. As though at one time, I mean, perhaps they did, formed presumably some sort of entrance up there somewhere into something. I don't quite know. It's all part of the mole, really. So presumably there was an entrance there at one time. And again here, kind of an area that, I don't know, again it just looks sort of like an area for people to kind of congregate doing stuff that it wasn't really designed for, if you get my drift. So I've just noticed behind me. It's not really the part of Luton you would want to be hanging around at night, I don't think. Just come up to the main shopping street that's outside the shopping mall, the mall. What you tend to find, we're just coming up to George Street over there, what you tend to find is you get a lot of people that are touting for business, paid charity collectors, beggars, this, that and the other, because they can't really do it in the Arndale Centre. They'll soon get removed if they tried. So the congregating point for that kind of thing tends to be up here. Told if you like high calorie snacks, that's a good place to go. This particular area at the top of George Street has been improved somewhat over the years. And on the whole is used for the purpose in which it was built, for people to sit down and have a break or a coffee or whatever during their breaks, rather than just a sort of an area of people just hanging around and being a nuisance. You don't tend to find that up here. There's a lot of side roads off from George Street, lots of little businesses, lots of little shops. Quite interesting actually, just to wind away. One thing you do also get down here on George Street is food trucks or food vans And in fact, I think I can smell one now. There's certainly an Indian one, which always smells fantastic when you walk past it. Usual array of coffee shops and other sorts of shops. Home Living, which used to be Debenhams, closed down. That was Debenhams there for donkey's years. And of course, unfortunately, that's now gone. And it's a massive shop. And a discount retailer like Home Living probably couldn't manage the rent on that, I would say. So, for a Saturday morning, it is actually quite quiet along here. There's Chapel Street. Up there you can see the flyover of the 505 on the main road that leads between Hitchin to Dunstable via Luton. And another entrance to the shopping mall. Gaming shops. Many years ago, a very long time ago, I used to work on George Street, and I think, if my memory serves me correctly, it was this place here, which is Bright House, or was Bright House. Anybody remember that being the AA, the Automobile Association? I might have got the wrong building, but I'm fairly certain it was that one. And what did we walk past there? I think, yeah, that's the Indian one we just walked past with the generator going. And just coming up now to a Thai one, which looks and smells equally as good. And for my money, I'll say if you want a reasonably priced, very tasty, homemade, family business type snack, then these are the guys to come to. I'd far rather to pop for some Thai curry there than walk over to that place over there. I'm sure there are many that would disagree with me. There's a kebab shop now, kebab stall should say, which is interestingly just outside the more established shop business, doner kebab, German doner kebab shop. And I've had one from in there, it wasn't too bad at all. Crunchy falafel and shawarma. And it also shows a kebab on the side there. It's closed at the moment. I guess that's it's not quite lunchtime yet, so I suppose that's something for later in the day. There's a good old Don Miller's. You don't see too many of those around these days, what with the proliferation of Greggs everywhere you go. I have to say, Don Miller's need to sort their sign out. It's looking a bit sorry for itself. I don't think that's been repainted for at least 20 years. What used to be here as well, One Below, 4,000 products for £1 or less. Ooh, was it, not C&A, was it C&A? Littlewoods maybe? Something like that, wasn't it? There was a sort of a department store. Again, all gone, as has C&A of course, in this country anyway, in Britain. Let's go up to the town hall now. Place of congregation, just this little part of Luton. I think there as well, back in the day, what's that called? Sam Pound store. I think that was a Thomas Cook's. Or maybe Thomas Cook's was just there. It's funny how your memory plays tricks with you. When I used to work, I used to work here a long time ago, and the pub just there, locked escape rooms. That wasn't called that then either. Right, so seems to be some kind of fun fair set up here. Again, this area just we're walking up to here, we're just coming up towards the area where the library is, Galaxy, which is a kind of an entertainment hub. We've got a cinema, Wetherspoons pub, lots of stuff like that. This area can sometimes turn into a bit of a beer drinkers sort of gathering point, if you like, for want of a better term. Lots of takeaways along here. Moldova, a Moldovan shop now. That's interesting. Greetalian, Greek meets Italian, wood-fired pizza, souvlaki, all in the same shop. That's interesting too. Not seen that there before. Maybe that's quite new. Looks quite new, the signage and so on. Greetalian. European, Romanian, Polish, Lithuanian, Hungarian, Moldova. So, if you're from that neck of the woods or Moldova itself, then I guess that's your shop. Another doner kebab shop. There's 3 kebab shops all next door to each other. Gordon Street just over here. Now, again, I think there used to be a nightclub up there. Just up there somewhere, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if it's still there. I don't think it is by the looks of it. Yeah, my memory of Luton is getting very fuzzy. A lot has changed and a lot has stayed exactly the same. So yeah, there's a bit of a fun fair set up here. I wouldn't say it was exactly huge. I guess they've squeezed in as much as they can. Luton Central Library and Theatre. There's many a thing here in Luton, and I guess it applies just the same to lots of towns of this kind of size, demograph and so on, but it always looks like it just needs a real good makeover from top to bottom. And I know you can't change everything all in one go. Sometimes you just feel that just a lick of paint here and just a replacement of a few bits and pieces there would just enhance things a lot more. Another entrance to, so we've walked almost a complete lap of the mall. I'm presuming this place down here is now closed as well, which is underneath the Strathmore Hotel, or Thistle Express as it's called now. I remember when it was quite a reasonably swish sort of hotel, and it's kind of downgraded over the years, presumably to keep in competition with these more budget brand hotels that proliferate everywhere. Massive Wetherspoons over there as part of the Galaxy complex, and that gets very busy on nice days, particularly everyone sat outside. Match days when there's a football match on at the local at Luton Town. Right, Wilkinson, yeah, that used to be a C&A. Yeah, the thistle, or the outsides of it at least. I have a feeling this used to be just here when it was the Strathmore Thistle. And I can see inside it's completely derelict, with the ceiling half caved in or been repaired or something. But this used, I think that used to be quite a reasonably swish restaurant. Clearly it's completely closed now, or at best been renovated. And there did also used to be a car park just here. I know you can see a car park right in front of me, but I mean like a multi-storey that went directly above your head. There's a car park there. Somewhere you used to get to it from outside the hotel. And I thought you came through there, but it all looks, I don't know, strange. Used to be a ramp, I'm sure, that used to take you down to street level there. Right. There's the ramp now, yes. Something has changed here, but I'm not entirely certain what. Here's the ramp that used to come up to get to the car park, and I think you used to be able to continue on up over there somewhere into that car park. And if you stayed at the hotel, that's where you would park. Of course, Luton is a very historical town with its history of hat making, car making, and numerous other things that are associated with those industries and others. And a trip into the library here is worthwhile if you go to the local history section. And I will say, a trip into any library's local history section is always quite revealing and quite interesting, and some of the photographs that they usually have are fascinating, particularly if you are actually interested in history. Just gonna have a little look over this fence. Is that the River Lea winding its way through? I remember doing the part of my River Lea walk that included this part of Luton. I did actually lose the river for about a mile. I couldn't find any areas in the centre where it was on display, and I think here is a bit that I actually missed at the time. I think I must have walked round another street. Yeah, there we go. As you can see, it's kind of helped along its way through the town. It's controlled, and a lot of it is underground. In fact, the part I was showing you earlier on, this is probably the other side of that tunnel, and it comes out over there near, quite close to the railway station. It's flowing quite fast at the moment, primarily because there's been a lot of rain over the last day or two. more or less completed a full circle now, so just veering off slightly. Not going to go up towards where the football ground is, an area called Bury Park, which is probably worthy of its own video one day. Certainly an interesting part of the town, if somewhat rough around the edges in places, which of course the football ground also is. Luton does have two very nice parks actually, one called Wardown Park and which I'm sorry, someone was shouting and swearing just behind me there, so I'll just switch off a sec. Yes, Wardown Park, which I'm walking towards now, just on the New Bedford Road, or just joining the New Bedford Road, which is the A6, which again is another main A road that runs the length of England, up to Carlisle, through Manchester, through Derby, through a number of places, and of course including through Luton and Bedford. And we've also got the M1 nearby. We're just walking underneath the Midland Main Line now, with train services in and out of London, up to places such as Leicester, Derby, Nottingham, Sheffield and so on. Anyway, back to the parks here. Wardown Park is along the road here. I'm just going to go as far as Wardown Park today. And the other big park is Stockwood Park, which is at the other side of Luton, way over in that direction. That's a nice park as well. Plenty of room up there for walking your dog and running around. Now, as you walk along the New Bedford Road here, you will also be walking along the River Lea, as it kind of is guided by man-made trenches and so on to keep it all in order. Yes, it's flowing quite well at the moment. When I walked past here a couple of months ago in the middle of summer, there hadn't been much rain, the trickle of the water was quite low, and it's quite high up here. It's probably served to clean the river up a little bit. There's a lot of litter in there. Unfortunately, being next to a road like this, let's just say, despite the fact there are dustbins everywhere, litter finds its way in, which is a shame. And hopefully they've got those little grids in places that collect it and council can get shot of it all. But it did look a bit of a sorry state at times, and indeed, excuse me, when you look at that, that's exactly what I mean. Now, don't get me wrong, Luton certainly isn't unique in having its rivers spoiled and polluted by, let's say, selfish or careless people, allowing things to end up in there. So perhaps we won't dwell on that too much. Anyway, just heading north really out of the town at the moment towards, well, in the direction of Bedford, towards Wardown Park. Have a little walk around there, and that will conclude this video for today. But, so I've shown you some of the slightly rough-edged parts of the town, some of the parts that do their best to look pretty but struggle a little bit. And as I say, it's one of those towns that really probably could do with a complete overhaul from top to bottom, but I don't suppose that's going to happen anytime soon. But you know, as I say, the town is very proud of its history. People from Luton are very proud of their town, and so they should be. Right, so we've reached Wardown Park, which in essence is just a small park that has the River Lea running through it in a widened lake-like way, as you can see ahead of me. That's just really the River Lea running through, and it widens out and runs off there along the A6 and joins in a similar fashion about a quarter of a mile over in that direction. So it's not a huge park. When I came here a couple of months ago during summer, it doesn't look great today, but just around this area in particular, it was a disgrace, quite frankly, the amount of litter and rubbish floating about at this end. Now I'm assuming that because of the fact that there's been quite a lot of rain and the water's a bit higher, all that rubbish has just washed away, which just means it's been taken to somewhere else and on somebody else's doorstep, I suppose, which is unfortunate, but there you go. But on the face of it, things look a bit better today as a result of that, although the problem hasn't gone away. There is a Wardown House, museum and gardens here, right at the other end. And so if you're interested in looking at the history of the park and surrounding area, then I'm sure that would be an interesting place to visit. And it is online, you can check out when it's open if you want to pop in there. Car parking over here is fairly reasonable as well. Hard to believe that this was a place people used to swim in, presumably just here in this kind of shallow tarmacked area, or maybe just there, which perhaps was something resembling a beach at one time. I'm not sure I'll be that keen on swimming in it at the moment. It doesn't look particularly clean. So what else have we got here apart from the museum art gallery and gardens? You've got bowling greens, tennis courts, children's play area, and this famous old bridge. Okay, so it's not Tower Bridge, but it's quite quirky and quite interesting all the same, and it's been here a long time. So as you can see, Luton may have a few little dark, uninspiring corners, shall we say, and it's got a lot of run-of-the-mill streets with run-of-the-mill kind of shops and establishments that you'll find everywhere, and it's got its nice little corners. On another video I'll do something a bit more wide-ranging, somewhere expanding further out around the suburbs of Luton and maybe Dunstable too, and Stockwood Park, and you can have a little look and see what you think about that. trees are a lot bigger on this than they were on this photograph, and those chimneys have now gone. At least I think they have. So thanks from this little walk around the good, the bad and the ugly of Luton. Let's finish on a high note, and let's finish in a part of the town which is quite pleasant indeed, which is Wardown Park. So thanks for watching. As I say, if you're interested in my video relating to walking the full length of the River Lea, then subscribe and press the yellow button, and you'll be notified when that gets released. I'm sure that those videos will be released after this one, although I haven't made a final decision on that yet. Probably round about Christmas time of 2023. And of course, if they're all out when you hunt for them, try and do them in order. I guess that will make sense. Will be clearly noted part 1s through to, I think, part 9 it's going to reach when I've actually completed it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to completing that walk, and I'll be back with other videos of this part of the world and other parts of the world too very soon. So once again, thanks for watching. Catch you again soon. Cheers now.